Hi, this is Tara with Tara's Tuesday Talk, here to chat with you about conferences. As many of you may have noticed on our social media, or maybe you've just noticed in the past, we talk a lot about a conference around this time of the year. So this is our annual Identify Solutions Conference. And I want to share today with you a little bit of the why, some big prayer requests, and just updates of what's going on this year and why it's special and what God's doing, basically. But first, let's chat about the why behind a conference. Have you ever been to a conference that you just loved? Maybe it changed your life. You got resources that literally just motivated you and launched you into the future for whatever project or job you had at hand, whether it's homeschooling or something in your career field. So I imagine at least the majority of you have had that somewhat of that experience, because conferences are very commonplace in the States. They are not as commonplace here in Honduras. So 8 years ago, when we felt the Lord calling us to host this conference, it really because there was nothing else out there for all at one time getting as many people as possible, really key resources and tools to be able to, in this case, expand and grow their orphan care ministry and best practices, have tools, have updates in science, and all of this stuff, and encourage each other, because getting together really can make a big difference in encouraging one another in a journey as hard and difficult as working with children from trauma and families. And so that's why we launched this conference 8 years ago, and we really have seen the Lord do crazy things. And so our why behind continuing to host this conference is really to get as many orphan care workers as possible, churches, orphanages, government workers, tools that we have a lot easier access to in the States. Thankfully, with the way the world is today with airplanes and internet and all of that, it's much easier to get all these resources down here to Honduras for this 3-day conference and put it in the hands of around 40 to 50 other nonprofits or churches that gather for this conference every year. And so we're super excited about this year because we do have speakers coming from Peru, from the States. We'll have attendees from all across Honduras. And we'll just enjoy that beautiful time together. And our topics this year are really rallying around the church being a part of answering the call, and how NGOs can partner with churches. Backyard Orphan is joining us to give their training. You can look them up online. And also we have, again, workshops for foster families or caretakers and orphanages to be trained in working with children from trauma, helping with attachment issues, kids from abuse, all of those things. They can dive deep into those conversations, be connected with an expert that can just continue that coaching throughout the years. And so it's really just a great, amazing place to come together, network, and get the connections and contacts that they need to better their care and our care of kids in tough places and families in tough places. So our why behind that is always to provide those resources. And this year our focus is on the local church joining efforts, and us joining efforts with the government workers around us. And so that's the big prayer request for this year. We have more government workers and more lawyers, staff from police stations and municipalities. I'm trying to make sure I have the English words, not the Spanish in my head. Than we've ever had before. And so I'm just waiting to see what God's going to do. So that's our big prayer, that the ones that have signed up actually come, because you know how it could be in a government office. You have plans and then you don't get to walk out those plans for other outside reasons that you don't have control over. So we're just really prayerful that all of these government workers that have signed up and government offices that plan to come will be there. So that's actually Thursday. The majority of them are planning to come for the one-day Thursday. And so we just would ask that you cover your prayers over that, because connecting and being able to work well with the local government office is just huge to making the biggest difference and impact we can as nonprofits in our communities and churches. The churches will be able to connect as well, and just understanding each other's roles, respecting each other's roles, and then figuring out how to work well together. So we're just super excited that God is setting this up, and we ask your prayer that the enemy not affect that at all by preventing someone from coming. And so if you'll cover that in prayer, amazing. Same for pastors. We have a lot of pastors signed up to come this year, more than we've ever had before. And so that same prayer to cover that nothing would hinder the pastors from coming, that they'll be able to take the time off, be here, and be able to immerse themselves in the information that's going to be provided. We have a lot of amazing speakers and other organizations. We have CAFO coming, like I mentioned, Backyard Orphan, I can't think of all of them right now, but if you want to go look on our website, we have that listed out, and we're just super grateful. Buckner from Peru, super grateful for these speakers and trainers that have agreed to come. They've taken off, they're flying. A lot of them pay for this out of pocket, and just have the heart to pour into the local Honduran community and workers to give them everything that they need. So if you'll cover all of this in prayer, I'd be super grateful. We just are so excited to see what God's going to do. We're expecting just amazing things to happen. And so along with praying, we would love to ask if you would want to sponsor. This is also our most expensive year because we always invite our government workers and our pastors at a discounted price to make it possible for them to come. And so we would ask that if you see the why with us and can grab onto the vision with us, that equipping our local staffs, the local organizations, the local government, equipping them is so effective and bringing them the resources and teaching them instead of, maybe us coming and doing it ourselves. This is exactly the model of Backyard Orphan. They're going to come and they're going to train so the Hondurans can therefore train other churches. And so equipping that to happen is really, multiplying your donation, your efforts to just, outlast the $25 you choose to give, because you're using that to train a local who's going to then continue to do the work after the funds have been used. And so it's just really an amazing way to know that your donation is going to have an impact beyond your donation. And so I really encourage you to consider doing that. And so I'm going to throw our website up here for what's our website, but it has a conference tab, and there you can see I can sponsor a pastor for this month much. Oh, I can sponsor a trainer to get there. And so we have different sponsorships that Identity Mission wants to be able to support and pay for, so that they can be equipped to do that role. And so if you can be a partner with us in that, we are still in need of about $6,000 in our funds to support this conference and have everybody come that we want to come. So I'll shoot that link in here. If you'll pray for us, consider sponsoring to expand your impact. And just know that that this conference, we're just really believing the Lord to do great things. And we're really grateful for each and every one of you that have already partnered with us in this, that are praying over this with us, and truly care to see an age in Honduras where orphans and vulnerable kids, vulnerable families are cared for really well by the local church, by the local NGOs, and the local government, that we've been able to partner together and care for them well. So thank you for those prayers. Thank you for those donations. Guys, have a great week. Appreciate you.